Bangkok, Thailand's capital, is a massive city known for its detailed shrines and vibrant street life. It's typically a pass-through city for tourists on their way to other parts of this gorgeous country, but for me, Bangkok was the destination. I love huge cities and wanted to feel the city's heartbeat. In part 1 of my Bangkok series, I explored the historic center of the city, full of opulent palaces and ornate temples right along the river. And here's how it went. Good morning, guys, and welcome to Bangkok, Thailand. This is my third time in Thailand, and last time I was in Bangkok, I only spent like a day or two here and just did a really quick whirlwind tour of some of the sites. But I'm staying for a week this time, and I'm excited to give Bangkok a little bit more of a chance. I feel like very often a lot of travelers will just come whip through for a day or two, or just do a quick stopover on the way to some islands or out to Chiang Mai and other beautiful places throughout Thailand. But I'm excited to spend a couple days here and not only see just the old town, but also Bangkok is just this massive sprawling city, and there's some really cool modern skyscrapers, some of the coolest malls I've ever seen, and there's just a lot of other really cool stuff you can do. But today I'm going to show you guys mostly the older part of Bangkok here, this little region called the Ratanakosin, and this is where the Grand Palace is, and you have a high concentration of old palaces and temples. And you're right on this little peninsula on the Chao Phraya River, so you're just surrounded by water. There's a lot of boats going here and there, and even this little area is way bigger than I pictured after looking at a map, so it takes a while to walk some of these places. So let's start by heading all the way to the south of the old town here, and there's this little memorial bridge that takes you over the river and just gives you some really good views looking towards the modern skyline of Bangkok, and then you can see a couple of the temples and stupas just breaking out above the skyline here, and it'll be a cool little first view of Bangkok. So let's head to the river and check out the memorial bridge. I've just walked all the way to the south of the old town here, and I'm on the sky part, which is up on the memorial bridge, is this like median between these two highways. So it's kind of a loud place to hang out, but I love it because you just have these really cool stadium seats here. So it's a beautiful place to just come and sit and hang out with some friends, and you have this beautiful view of the river and the modern Bangkok skyline in the distance. And then back behind me here you have the old town, and you can see a couple stupas. It's not like the best view of old town, but I just thought this was a really cool place to show you guys, and a cool place to start our tour of the old town. And then on another video I'm hoping to show you guys a little bit more of the modern part of Bangkok, show you some of those really cool skyscrapers and malls that are way off over there. But again, this is a sprawling city, so let's head back into town and we'll kind of walk our way along the river and start by checking out some of the cool temples in Old Town Bangkok. I'm actually a little bit disappointed that you're right along the river, but there's almost no access to the water. There's not like a great river walk, even though this street is called River Walk. You just have all of these industrial buildings here, but I'm just kind of walking through these old town streets. It's a little bit grungier, a little bit grittier. It looks like they're setting up for a lot of markets, so kind of cool vibe just walking through here. And eventually we're just gonna kind of keep walking along the river to Wat Pho, which is this pretty famous temple here with the big reclining Buddha. I've just walked probably about half a mile, 3/4 of a mile along the river here, and I'm starting to see a lot of just these beautiful temples here in the heart of the old town of Bangkok, and I've just stepped into Wat Pho, which is one of the oldest and most renowned temples here in Bangkok. It's where you have this 46-meter long reclining Buddha, and there's been a temple on this site since the 16th century, so it predates the actual city of Bangkok. So it's a very historic place, so let's head in and check out the reclining Buddha and this amazing temple complex. Just paid 300 baht, which is about $7 or $8 to enter the temple complex here. So let's start by seeing the giant Buddha. So I just started by entering the hall of the reclining Buddha here, and it is jaw-dropping. As soon as you walk in, you're just greeted by the top of Buddha's head, and it is massive. It's 45 feet high and 130, 140 feet, and it is just so massive, and is one of the largest Buddhas here in Thailand. And the resting Buddha is a symbol of Buddha entering his last stage into nirvana. So it's a very important posture of the Buddha there, and just, yeah, incredible seeing that in person. So that is just the first building and temple in this Wat Pho region. It looks like there's a ton of other spires and stupas throughout this plaza here, so let's see what else we can see in the Wat Pho temple complex. Just come behind the reclining Buddha temple and to the right, and there's this other little plaza here that has these 4 really colorful, tall, spiring stupas, and they just have these really ornate, colorful tiling, and they just have these beautiful flowers and everything just going all the way up these massive spires. And then all around the edge you have a few museums, and then you have tons and tons of statues of these golden Buddhas just standing in different positions all around here. So very cool little place to explore. And then we'll head back into like the main area of the temple here, and there's another massive temple and just so much beautiful architecture here. So let's keep exploring. So I've just come to the inner courtyard of this temple complex area, and I'm in front of Phra Ubusat, which is the assembly hall that is used for different monastic and monarchical rituals. So let's see if we can head into the assembly hall and see what that looks like on the inside. That was the Assembly Hall, which again is one of just the most massive buildings in this Wat Pho complex here, and it's kind of right in the center. So I guess a bit more of a prominent feature than even the reclining Buddha. But the reclining Buddha is what a lot of people come here to see. And then this afternoon they had a bit of a ceremony going on there, so you could just come up to the stairs and just look in. You could see all these monks chanting, but then at the front there's just this very beautiful Buddha up on this pedestal that is just like gleaming in gold. So very cool to be able to see the inside of that. Anyways, again, very massive Wat Pho complex. You could spend a couple hours here just admiring all of this architecture, but we're gonna keep on exploring Bangkok. We have a lot to see today. So we're gonna head out of here, and then not too far from here is the river where you can get a little boat over to Wat Arun. And so yeah, let's try to find a boat and get on the river and show you another one of the cool temples here in the city of Bangkok. Literally just right across the street from Wat Pho, there's this little ferry terminal area. You have a lot of shops and kind of touristy goods, restaurants, but all the way at the end here, there's a little boat ferry, and for about 5 baht or like 10 cents, you can take a ferry over to the other side and see Wat Arun. So let's get onto the river. So quick change of plans. I came to the little pier dock here, and you can do these long-tailed boats that take you through some of the canals of Bangkok. You can do some floating markets. We're gonna see a big Buddha statue, and I think it'll just be fun to be out on the boat and on the water, seeing a little bit more of the culture of Bangkok from the water here. So it's 500 baht. I'm joining a group of 3 other people here, and yeah, it'll be about an hour tour just getting out on the river here. So let's jump on the boat and check out the tour. Just finished up our little boat canal tour here of Bangkok, and it was actually much longer than an hour. It was almost an hour and a half, 2 hours, and it was pretty cool. You just got to see a really different part of Bangkok living. You saw all of these little floating houses that are right along the river, and some of them were like very falling apart and very rustic, and these like wooden shacks and like collapse, and then some you just saw these like beautiful mansions along the water. But then as we were going, we didn't really stop much, but again, this was a kind of like cheaper, just touristy tour. I thought we'd stop at more floating villages and stuff, but we barely stopped at all. But again, it was a very long tour, weaving through all of these canals. And then we passed this really cool giant golden Buddha. We literally passed hundreds of temples. We saw a couple lizards and turtles and some wildlife. And yeah, so just a very fascinating way to see Bangkok, and a good way to spend like an hour and a half, 2 hours just being out on the water, which was pretty nice. So yeah, continue with our tour of Bangkok this afternoon. it's just a quick little trip right across the river here to Wat Arun, and it's 100 baht or about $3 to enter this temple complex here. And right at the heart of the temple complex you have the Wat Arun, or the Temple of the Rising Sun, and it's just one of the main icons here of Bangkok, because you can just see it as you're going up and down the river here. So even when we were on our boat cruise earlier, you could just see the Wat Arun right on the water. And there's been a temple here since about the 16th century, but it was rebuilt during one of the more recent kings in the mid to late 1800s, and just this main spire was built to be about 70 meters tall, which just makes it just this very pronounced temple right here on the river, and greets people as they enter the main city of Bangkok. And this used to be also where the Grand Palace was for a few reigning kings, but then has since been moved over, and we'll check that out after this. But right here at the Wat Arun, you just have a bit of a promenade here, so you can just walk right along the river. You can see all the boats passing, you can see some of the restaurants across the river, the skyline way off in the distance. And so yeah, let's just wander around here and check out some of the intricate detail on this Wat Arun. I've just been walking around the base of Wat Arun here. It is just incredible how detailed these massive spires are. You just have so many really intricate tiles of different flowers, and you have these gods like holding it up, and just all of these like really beautiful pastel colors, and it just covers every square inch of all of these stupas. There's the one main stupa in the middle, and then you have a couple of these other ones on the corners here. And then in the middle you can go up a couple stairs here and can wander around the edge of the temple and get some like elevated views of the temple complex here. So let's head up those stairs and keep wandering around Wat Arun. I've come up to the little base layer here of the Wat Arun temple, and again you just have a slightly more elevated view of the temple complex here, and there's these little zigzag passageways that take you right by all of these beautiful tiles and just the intricate artwork of the Wat Arun. You can get just such a close-up look at some of the tiling and the detail that makes up this mosaic of a temple. So that was Wat Arun, and honestly just so stunning, all of the detail on those massive spires. It's just incredible. And then walking around and those little zigzags up on that balcony, just getting some views overlooking the river, overlooking these other temples. So besides the Wat Arun, in this temple complex we have a couple other just really big like assembly halls and just really ornate buildings. So I'm just going to walk around and show you a little bit of that, but I'm not going to take too much time in these temples because we still have a couple other temples that we need to explore today, and we need to go check out the Great Palace. So let's just walk around a little bit. Before leaving Wat Arun, I came to the back corner here to the ordination hall, and I was just really impressed. I didn't know this was here. You just have this beautiful temple back here with these white pillars with these flowers on it, and then just these really golden, ornate windows and doors on the inside. And you're just in this massive courtyard surrounded by this ring of golden Buddhas in this hallway that surrounds the plaza here. So yeah, definitely worth spending a lot more time in Wat Arun, checking out some of these extra little temples besides just that big pillar. Anyways, again, we still have a lot to see today in this old town of Bangkok, so let's head out of the temple complex here, catch a ferry, and we'll head back to the mainland of old Bangkok. It's been a bit of a walk here from the pier, and I've made it to the Bangkok City Pillar, which is supposedly the dead center of the city of Bangkok. And when this was established to be the capital of Thailand in 1782, this was the first thing that was built. And so it's a very significant and very historic pillar here in the center of Bangkok, and it's right in the heart. So we have like the National Defense Building right here, and we have the Great Palace and the Shrine of the Emerald Buddha right across the corner of the street here. But this main spire is where people will come when they either move to Bangkok or if they're starting a business, and they'll come pay their regards in hopes for blessings for their new business or their new life here in Bangkok. So very beautiful pillar. Let's see if we can head in and check out this little pillar. Doing the Bangkok pillar here. It's one of the least touristy things I've done all day. There's hardly any tourists. It's not that big of a place, but right in the main pillar area you have this golden little spire that people are worshiping, and then there's just tons of local people doing different ceremonies, giving different offerings, offering oil offerings, there's like flower offerings, and just a very unique look into the religious life of Bangkok here. So very fascinating to just step in here, and completely free to see this. So anyways, let's head across the street here, and we're gonna go check out the Great Palace and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. Right across the street from the Bangkok City Pillar, you have the Great Palace and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, and it's all in this giant complex here right in the center, and you just have this massive white wall that completely surrounds the palace. So it is a huge complex. So we're gonna head in here. It's about 500 baht or $15. So one of the more expensive places to check out here in the old Bangkok area, but really worth it. So let's head through the white wall and check out the Great Palace and the Temple of the Emerald Buddha. just been walking around the temple complex of the Emerald Buddha here, and there's just so many beautiful, intricate temples to see. It's really quite a big place just to walk around. And again, every little building and pagoda is just so detailed. And then all around the outside of the wall here, you just have these incredible paintings telling different stories of Thai history and Buddhist history. And then we went into the Temple of the Emerald Buddha, which is right in the center here. And you just have all of this beautiful gold tiling all on the outside, all on these pillars. And then you go in and you can't film inside it all, so you'll have to come here and see the Emerald Buddha for yourself. But I will say he's surprisingly really small. It's just like a tiny little Buddha on these towers of gold statues. And really cool to see, very sacred place. And yeah, just beautiful area to walk around here. And so from the back corner of the Emerald Temple complex here, we can go into the Grand Palace. So let's head out of the temple grounds here and check out the Grand Palace. So right next to the Emerald Temple grounds there, we've entered the Grand Palace area, and there's not really too much you can see or do in here, but you just have some really cool Thai architecture, and the roofs, they almost have a similar look to some of the temples, and you have all of this beautiful gold tiling on it. And then the bottom two floors have a bit more of like a Western influence. And Thailand was never colonized, but the fifth great king, he had traveled a lot, so he got a lot of Western influence from different places and implemented that into some of the architectural styles of the Great Palace here. And so you have these like cool colonnades and grand doors that feel very European in style, but then the roof has the Thai influence in it. And then so around the Grand Palace grounds here, you just have a couple other ceremonial halls that are quite decorative and a few kind of open gardens and plazas. So cool area to walk around, a couple really ornate buildings to check out, but not too much. You can't really go into many of them because they're all for the royal family here. But yeah, so let's head out and keep exploring the rest of Bangkok this afternoon. From the Great Palace, they're right in the center of Bangkok. I've come to the more northeast part of the Ratana Kosin, the old town of Bangkok here. And right on the edge of the old town, we have the Golden Mount, which is this artificial mound with a golden stupa on the top. And we're gonna head there for sunset. But on our way there, there's just one more little temple. I mean, it's actually a pretty big temple, but another Thai temple that I want to show you guys on our way there. That's right across this little canal from the Golden Mount. And this temple is called Ratchanatdaram. So let's just head in here, and again, just has these beautiful golden spires and a nice little temple plaza here. So let's head in and check out this temple. So I've just entered this little temple complex here, and it seems a lot more quiet and a lot less touristy than a lot of the other temples. And I know we've seen so many temples today, so they're all starting to kind of look the same, but this one just has these amazing golden spires, just tons and tons of these spires going all the way up the top of the temple here. And I think you can go inside. I think I see some people up on the top of the temple here, so let's take our shoes off and see what the inside of this temple looks like and if we can make it to the top. I've just made it to the top of the Loha Prasad temple here, and I'm in the top spire, and there's this little Buddha relic right here on top of the whole temple. But this has been one of the coolest views I've seen, and you're up on top of this temple, you're looking at the city through all of these golden spires, and you can see the modern skyline off in the distance. You can look down on the old town a little bit, see the Grand Palace and some of the other temples that we explored today. And then right here you can see the Golden Mount, which is where we're gonna head next to watch the sunset. But this has been one of the coolest things. I just kind of like stumbled upon this on my way to the Golden Mount. That was one of the coolest things that I've done all day here, and it was completely unexpected. That wasn't on my itinerary here. Anyways, we have about an hour till sunset, so we just have to cross the river here and head over to the Golden Mount, which we saw from up there, and that's gonna be the best place for sunset. You just get 360-degree views of the city. So let's head there. Just entered the Golden Mount here, and it's 100 baht, or about $3 US. And the Golden Mount is this big white artificial hill that has a golden stupa on it, and we have 344 steps through this nice lush jungle, and there's some water, there's some chanting throughout the forest. So let's head up the 344 steps to the top of the Golden Mount. Just made it 344 stairs up to the top of the Golden Mount here, and there's this little sanctuary temple, and you're just getting beautiful views, looking out at the modern skyline and looking down at some of the temples in this old part of Bangkok that we've been exploring today. So anyways, you can go in the temple here, there's a couple little shrines, and then you can actually go to the top of this temple here, and there's another like golden pagoda and a couple golden spires from up there, and you'll just have 360-degree views of the city. And we're just gonna have this beautiful bright orange pink sunset tonight. So let's head into the shrine, and we'll go up the stairs and show you guys the top of the Golden Mount. I have just made it to the top of the Golden Mount here, and right in the middle of the top of the temple here, you have just this big, giant golden pagoda, and you have 4 of these other little pillars on each of the corners here, and then you just have 360-degree views of the city. You can see a lot of like the modern Bangkok skyline way off that way. Again, you can look at old Bangkok and some of the old temples here, and you can just look out all over the city and just see little temples popping up, little golden pagodas, and we just have a beautiful golden sunset tonight. So this is going to be the place to watch the sunset and just enjoy these views. They had a little spot in there where you can get some refreshments, so I got a soda, and I'm just going to hang out here for the next half hour, 45 minutes, and just enjoy the Bangkok sunset. Alright guys, the sun has just set over the city of Bangkok and we just have this beautiful blue dusk here. And that is just one of the best places, especially in the old town of Bangkok, to just see the sunset over the city. Anyways, one last thing I want to show you guys in the old town of Bangkok here is the Khao San Road, which I haven't really explored much here, but I've heard it's kind of like the Nightlife District. There'll be some cool night markets. So let's head there, we'll grab some dinner, check out the vibes in Khao San, and yeah, that'll be it for Bangkok. I've just walked a little ways down and I'm on Khao San Lane, which is this pedestrian-only street here, and it's kind of known as like the backpacker mecca. You just have a bunch of hostels, you have a bunch of bars, really good cheap street food, there's like tattoo parlors, and like really cool outdoor restaurants. You have live music everywhere, so this is a really big like nightlife area. So if you want to come out and have some parties, have some beers, this is a good place to come. So I'm gonna just walk around Khao San, give you an idea of the vibe of the street here. It's early on a Monday night, so it's not as hectic as it could be, but let's walk around, check out some of the cool street food, some of the shops, and some of the neon lights of this Khao San walking district here. So that gives you just a brief idea of the Khao San walking street and this little nightlife district here on the edge of the old town of Bangkok. Anyways guys, that's about it for my day here, showing you around the old town of Bangkok. Again, I'm sure there's so many more things you can see and do. I literally walked by like hundreds of temples today, so there's so many little places you can duck your head into, but hopefully that gives you an idea of some of the top things to see here in Bangkok. And again, a couple other little ideas and surprises that'll just inspire you if you have a day here in Bangkok. So anyways, tomorrow I'm going to do another video and show you guys a couple things that are just on the outskirts of Bangkok or a little bit more in the modern district. Show you some cool skyscrapers, some cool rooftop views you can get, some shopping malls, and yeah, just another alternative day you can have in Bangkok if you have some extra time exploring the capital of Thailand here. So anyways, I'm gonna go grab some food at one of these restaurants on Khao San, and I'll see you guys in the next video.